In 1519, conquistador Hernán Cortés arrived in Mexico and began seeking indigenous allies for his planned attack on the Aztec capital. He and his men met with the leaders of Tlaxcala, longtime enemies of the Mexica. The Tlaxcalans showed the Europeans an enormous bone to prove their formidable ability as warriors, explaining that their ancestors had conquered giants. The Spanish accepted this explanation, and the alliance was struck. The Tlaxcalans would help with the invasion of Tenochtitlan, which, after much bloodshed, became Mexico City, part of the Spanish colony of New Spain. The bone itself is now known to be the remains of a Columbian mammoth. In order to forge the alliance, however, the Spanish had to accept the Tlaxcala's beliefs about their own history and their interpretation of evidence drawn from nature. When European naturalists later sought to explain such bones, which were common in the region, their explanations combined Nahua histories of human conquest with Spanish colonial knowledge of medicine and natural history. As for the bone itself, Cortés arranged to send it as a gift to Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. It is not clear if it ever made it to Europe.
I'm Mackenzie Cooley. I'm an early modern historian, and I work on nature and power and the relationship that humans have to the natural world. I think that anecdote, right? We have Cortés meeting the Tlaxcalans, and in that encounter, Cortés is going to gain an alliance that will absolutely shape the history of the American conquest. And so we have an object that starts to take on political meaning as well as natural historical meaning. So I was absolutely fascinated with this description of an enormous bone, right, that was used in these political proceedings. Why did Cortés and his followers decide to write about it in the first place? I think because they were so impressed. They were astonished by its scale. And in that moment of a gift exchange, right, when the Tlaxcalans showed this enormous giant bone to the Spanish who they were coming to meet and coming to know, the Spanish decided to take their approach to nature and to history really seriously. It was proof that they could see with their own eyes that there had been a magnitude of settlement and power in the Americas long before Europeans arrived.
The prize selection committee was impressed by the originality, reach, and ambition of Mackenzie Cooley's archival research. They also lauded her incorporation of indigenous languages and knowledge systems into a study of European science and experience.